For example, a melody functions in a harmonic climate. The chord that is being played is a harmonic climate. That's, if it's an augmented chord, it's a mysterious climate. If it's a diminished chord, it's a little tenser. If it's minor, it's serious. If it's major, it's happy. If it's major seventh, you're falling in love. If it's augmented 11th, it's bebop. You know, these are all established harmonic aromas that people recognize, whether they do it consciously or not. That's what's built into you. So melody functions against a harmonic climate in terms of what is the fractional delay between the time that you hit a note that is tension to that chord to the time that you hit a note which is inside the chord, which creates a resolution. That's how melodies work. How many notes are you playing in your line that rub against the chord versus how many notes are inside the chord that takes the tension to rest? Your ear is computing that, okay? Now, if you're playing a straight disco number where everybody is marching along to the same beat, well, your options for the amount of intrigue you can create with a melody improvised against the chord are pretty limited, because the minute you stray from an exact 16th note fluctuation, the disco consumer loses interest because he wants everything to sound like it came out of a Casio rhythm machine. But with the type of stuff that I do, once the solo begins, unless it's a fixed 12-bar thing like I did 2 choruses on Penguin and Bondage in the key of D, that's that. But if it's an open-ended solo that starts with a single tonality, I can do amazing things in that context if you understand what is happening musically, what's going on. Some people listen to it and say, that's awfully weird, or that scale is strange, or those notes are weird. But there's a reason for doing it, and there's a lot of skill involved in choosing those notes, and there's also a lot of skill involved in the rhythm section being able to accompany me in what I'm doing. That bass player is great at following me. He's one of my favorite bass players to work with because his harmonic concept, he understands what I'm doing when I do those things. And one of the techniques I was using last night was the chord that was stored in the loop has no third in it. That means the pitch of the chord, which determines whether it's major, minor, augmented, or diminished, is missing. All you have is the root, the second, and the fifth. When you have those 3 intervals in there, you still hear it as a chord, but the notes that you can play against it enable you to encompass all the different variations of the nature of the chord. You can play major thirds, minor thirds, and everything in between against that chord. It's more like a neutral piece of canvas that you can paint on. And consequently, the bass notes that support that chord, a lot of different bass notes can be used, and each one that goes against the chord creates another set of mathematical possibilities for the melody notes that are happening on top of it. And when you combine that with the mathematical possibilities of what the harmonic rhythm of the melody notes will be, how many rub, how many relax, and all that stuff, that's a world of opportunities during each song. And I love doing that during the show. That's my favorite thing to do in the show.